Jeff, and I have a story I want to share. It's about my dad, one of the greatest men I've ever known, who is, at the same time, a cause of a lot of my problems. Our family lives in a really small town. The population is about 2,000 people, and it feels like everyone pretty much knows each other. The thing about our town is that it was founded 200 years ago or something by a father and a son. After the father passed away, the son became the one in charge and raised his son to help him. This is a kind of legend we have. So if you had ever been here, then you probably guessed what place I am talking about right now. So then, of course, the whole dynasty thing interrupted, and now it's just the legend we are told at school. But a lot of stuff in our town is dedicated to fathers and sons. There's even a special holiday. So, okay, now it's time to tell you about who my dad is. First of all, his name is Jeff too. Yes, I was named after him. So for my whole life, I wasn't just Jeff, I was Jeff Jr., especially among teachers and other adults. Anyway, in our town, my dad is kind of a superstar. He is the main guy on the city council. He does a lot for the whole community. He knows almost every citizen by name, and of course, everyone knows him, and people love him. There were so many times when he made people's lives here so much better, and if there's something nice going on, you can be sure it's him. And, I have always been proud of my dad ever since I was a kid. But as I grew up, I started to feel less and less comfortable. Basically, every time our class had a new teacher, the conversation with me started with, "Oh, and you're Jeff Jr." I mean, really, it happened every time. I was okay with it for quite a long time, but there's always a point when you just get tired. Well, it's not a disaster, it's just one phrase after all. I mean, the worst part comes after. Every adult I meet has expectations based on, you're right, who my dad is. So I have to be super smart, creative, responsible, and decisive. All these at once, and when I'm 14. So when something goes wrong, for example, I fail a test, then you can be sure they'll mention my dad. Luckily, it doesn't work like this with my friends and classmates. They don't really care about city council and stuff, and they don't know my dad that well to compare me to him all the time. But there is a problem of another kind. I guess you guys know how classmates react when you get special attention from teachers every other day. They make fun of you in the best case. Over the last several months, a lot of my friends started speaking about college and about what they want to do after we finish high school. I started thinking about it too, and figured I want to make movies, because why not? And you see, our town is as far from filmmaking as a place can be. People have normal jobs and stuff. I wanted to talk to my parents about it, but I was scared. I'm not even sure why, as my mom and dad never insisted on any career choice for me. But imagine all this pressure, like people telling me I have to be my father's son and all that. So it took a while for me to get myself ready for the conversation. I mean, I have time, but things are getting really serious. One day we had a big party at our house, and I was out with friends. So when I came in the middle of the evening, all the guests started staring at me and someone said to my dad out loud, "Well, Jeff Jr. is gonna start helping you out quite soon." My dad seemed happy with this idea, and I just wanted to scream, "I don't even want to stay here," but got confused and just walked away. That was when I realized I had to make a stand. At least, I had to talk to my dad. So after a couple of days, I chose a moment and started a conversation with him. To be honest, I was ready to fight for my dream. So I told him everything about my plans, and maybe I was a bit too loud and emotional. My dad was silent for quite a while, and I was standing there thinking of all the worst reactions he might have. But it was in fact so much different. Dad said he would support any choice, and he was in fact quite happy. The next thing he said shocked me. The truth was that when he was young, he was seriously thinking to move to a bigger city and become a sax player. I mean, I knew he could play, but I never knew it had been that serious. But he had to take care of his parents who needed his help a lot, so he stayed in our town and has become who he is now. He couldn't follow his dream, and he said he would be happy if I did. Of course, all these things with people comparing me to him didn't go away, but now I feel much better, as I am free to choose. So, guys, don't be afraid to talk to someone you are afraid won't